A year has already gone by since the disastrous launch of the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, aka the Defective Edition. And to be honest, I wasn't even going to make this video until I woke up this morning and realized that it's Memorial Day, Remembrance Day, the day that the guns went silent at the end of the Great War. And according to people on social media, it's also the day that the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition launched for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, as well as PC. Later on, it would come out for the Nintendo Switch. It's supposed to come out for smartphones eventually, but that is still yet to occur. When the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition was first announced, a lot of us were excited about these three games coming back for modern consoles with some updates, and Rockstar pulled a fast one over us with their screenshots and their trailer and really got the nostalgia vibes going. But when the games dropped, it had a lot of problems that people were noticing right away, and I think that there were those that had early access to it in Australia, New Zealand, and some people like move their clocks forward in order to trick the game launch into allowing them to play the game hours earlier than scheduled, and issues were popping up left and right on all three games. Grove Street Games was the small mobile studio of about 2,000 people working there at the time, contractually hired by Take-Two and Rockstar to quote-unquote remaster the original GTA trilogy of 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Now, I am of the opinion, and still stand by this, that November 11th was not intended to be the release date for the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, but for Grand Theft Auto 5 and Online Enhanced Expanded Milked Edition for PS5 and Xbox Series. But it was delayed till March 2022. Therefore, in order to get holiday sales, Take-Two and Rockstar had to put something in that November 11th spot, and they rushed GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition out the door before it was ready. That became painfully clear as we played through 3, Vice City, as well as San Andreas. What made matters worse is Rockstar took the original versions of these games off all of the online stores, including the Rockstar Games launcher. They even pulled down these three games for a few days because code was found that they had to go back and remove. It was such a bad launch that 11 days later, Rockstar actually issued a note regarding the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Hi everyone, we want to provide an update regarding the unexpected technical issues that came to light as part of the launch of GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Firstly, we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues playing this game. And there were a lot of people that had issues, myself included. They tried to make things right with players on PC that weren't able to play the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition by giving them an opportunity to get the original versions of 3, Vice City, San Andreas through the Rockstar Games launcher from this point up until June 2022. The truth is they should have kept the original 3 games in all the online stores, but that would have been even more criticism from players who would just jump back and forth between the original versions of these games as well as the so-called Definitive Edition. Rockstar and even Take-Two's CEO Strauss Zelnick pledged to fix these games, but despite the fact there's been quite a few title updates here and there over the past year, most recently title update 1.04.5 about 3 weeks ago, which only allegedly addressed stability issues, there are still problems with these games. For the most part, 3 is okay. Vice City's a little bit better off, but still has some low-res issues and some problems here and there. The one game that still needs a lot of work and TLC and attention is GTA San Andreas Definitive Edition. There's still low-res, pop-ins, screen tears on the map, and other issues as well. And from the latest Take-Two quarterly earnings call that they did a few days ago, the launch of GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition for Droid and iPhone for the smartphones is still to be announced, with the potential spring 2023 release. There are also rumors that Grove Street Games is no longer involved and that the title updates might actually be coming from Rockstar Games themselves, which begs the question, if there was this plan to remaster the original versions of 3, Vice City, San Andreas, why not simply take your time and remaster these games properly in-house instead of putting it on the shoulders of a studio that doesn't exactly have the best track record and only 24 employees. A lot of people initially blamed Grove Street Games. While I gave them, I think, 15% of the blame, most of the blame, in my opinion, goes squarely on the shoulders of Take-Two as well as Rockstar, because this remaster could have been amazing if Rockstar did it in-house and if they took their time and if Take-Two didn't rush these games out the door for November 11th, 2021 to get some holiday sales. If GTA 5 Enhanced Expanded Edition was ready on November 11th for PS5, Xbox Series, that would have been what came out. And GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition most likely wouldn't have been released till sometime later, maybe in spring of 2022, or maybe a year later coming out around this time, which could have bought Grove Street Games 6 months to 12 months of extra work in order to polish these 3 games and have a much more impressive launch than they did a year ago. What's also disappointing, in my opinion, is that there were initially plans to release remasters of GTA 4, as well as the original Red Dead Redemption, and potentially Bully, but because of how poorly the disastrous launch of GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition was, and all the negative feedback they got from gamers and even those in the gaming news industry, Rockstar apparently has shelved any plans at the moment to remaster GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption 1, or Bully, at least until after GTA 6 has been released. Which really does beg the question what their plans were for remastering those games. Were they simply going to hand them over to Grove Street as well? Which is still an extremely bad idea, in my opinion. Or whether they actually took the time and effort to assemble teams in-house at Rockstar Games, one of the largest development studios in the world, with big and small offices throughout the world itself. They have, Scotland with Rockstar North, San Diego and California, and a few others as well. They could have done these remasters in-house, including Red Dead Redemption as well as GTA 4, but were they simply just going to push it on this small mobile studio with only 24 people that did shoddy work with the GTA Trilogy? If that was the plan, then I'm glad that these so-called remasters were shelved. The legacy of the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, even if there is future title updates that fix most of the issues that a lot of us are still trying to bring to attention, is going to be on that launch. The fact that it was bad, and there's still a lot of problems in these 3 games, especially with San Andreas Definitive Edition. Rockstar and Take-Two played on the fans' nostalgia, those of us that are veteran fans, as well as newer fans that have never got the chance to play 3, Vice City and San Andreas. They too were pulled one over by this multi-billion-dollar entity known as Take-Two and Rockstar, aka Take-Two Games, into buying an inferior product known as the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Perhaps by the time the mobile versions of this game come out, there'll be at least 1 or maybe 2 or 3 more title updates that will finally address and fix most of the game's issues. At least we can only hope. But that was an extremely bad first impression when it came to the launch a year ago today. And the lesson here is, hopefully, if Rockstar does decide to revisit the idea of remaking or remastering some other favorites from their library, like GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption 1, Bully, we can only hope that they'll learn valuable lessons from the launch a year ago and not leave their games in the hands of smaller studios that are not capable of getting the job done. And the lesson that Take-Two needs to learn, and I seriously doubt they will, is don't rush a game out the door onto the market until it's ready. The same issue happened years ago, October 2016, with Mafia 3. It was not ready for launch, and yet, once again, Take-Two, or 2K, needed to get them holiday sales, and unfortunately, we had a very bad launch for Mafia 3. Of course, Hangar 13 did fix a lot of the issues in Mafia 3, but once again, it comes down to a very bad first impression that most gamers are not going to forget. That's true with Mafia 3, as well as GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and any other disastrous remasters that have been put out, which become painfully clear that they're nothing more than demasters and cash grabs by these multi-billion-dollar corporations like Take-Two and Rockstar. For the record, I don't have a problem giving these companies money for their games, but I think most of us want a good quality game and an amazing experience. We don't want the bugs, the glitches, the crashes, or other problems that occurred while we played through 3, Vice City, and especially San Andreas Definitive Edition. And it's an insult to the legacy of the original GTA trilogy. But unfortunately, this seems to be the norm when it comes to so-called remasters for a lot of other beloved video games and IPs. Very rarely do we see a remaster that lives up to the expectations and the nostalgia of the original version of the game. But I could only hope that if years from now Rockstar does in fact decide to remaster GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, or any other game in their library, that they will learn valuable lessons from the disastrous launch of the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition. Your thoughts, views, and opinions, as always, welcome below in the comments section.